good that you are here, Paul Krauss, Health for Life Counseling. You here to talk about your expertise and what men should be doing about their health. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Shelley.
Appreciate you. Tell me a little bit more about you and why you're interested in this subject.
Well, I have been a therapist for 18 years and now co-founder of Health for Life Counseling, and I believe right now there is a rising, alarming trend in the mental health of men in our country that needs to be addressed. And one of the stark, most horrible facts is that 80% of completed suicides in the U.S. are men, and that is 4 times the rate of females right now, and that is something we can't deny.
We know that there's a Men's Health Month, but Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, particularly our conversation. We could end the interview real quick and say why this high number for suicides and how do we prevent it, but there's much more to that. Tell me, you talk about 4 critical realities that drive this. Do we call it a crisis, Paul?
I would call it a crisis. I think it's an emerging crisis in young men especially.
And why is that?
Well, there's many reasons that's happening. I think part of it is that technology is really changing the workforce, and a lot of men used to see themselves primarily with one identity, which is the breadwinner. And I think the positive part about society is that women are doing amazing in the workforce and universities, but a lot of men are struggling to find their place in this changing reality and finding a more open and expansive identity. At the same time, we have old ways of viewing men and a narrow, rigid view that they must be stoic and non-emotional and have narrow interests. And this, in a way, actually limits men socially, mentally, physically. And so, therefore, there are a lot more despair if they aren't successful in certain ways.
This conversation in tandem with the conversation I just had when it comes to designing for trauma, and you of trauma specialist and EMDRIA certified clinician, where you do lead the Grand Rapids Practice campaign to dismantle barriers preventing men from seeking life-saving mental health. So only 33% of men with depression received counseling last year?
This is what the statistics are saying, is that a lot of men have depression, but oftentimes they have this attitude that asking for help is a weak thing, when in fact it would actually help you become stronger to learn about your emotions or work through the depression or figure out ways to recover in this way. And therapy is not some long life sentence. A lot of people can feel a lot better in a short period of time. And also, of course, therapy is not the only answer to the men's mental health crisis, but if you are feeling very depressed, anxious, having post-traumatic stress symptoms or whatever, that would be a great way to start.
Does physical health, does untreated mental health cut a man's lifespan by 10 to 15 years?
This is what the statistics are saying, and you can look this up, that a lot of men won't even seek physical doctor treatment and treat their bodies well and think about those things because of, again, rigid stereotypes of masculinity that need to be expanded. They'll often say, I don't need to go see the doctor. They would rather be in denial of that. And again, this is something taught to them over the years and something we're trying to push through to find a more healthier, mature masculinity in our society. That is what's necessary. But currently, as you can see, the stats are stark. Men's lifespans are often cut by 10 to 15 years due to multiple conditions and often, most of the time, not seeking preventative care in the primary care world.
And Paul, are there generational trauma cycles here?
Yes. I mean, there are plenty of when boys have issues with having, for instance, an absent father. I mean, mothers are amazing. Mothers have been raising boys and doing a great job of it. But there is something about having a male mentor or a father figure, at least. It doesn't have to be in the home, but somebody in your house that can kind of guide you in the ways of becoming a mature and healthy man. And when men don't have that, the studies have shown that boys with fathers who either don't express themselves or fathers that are absent are 3 times more likely to develop substance use disorders in adulthood, which can, of course, lead to horrible outcomes such as overdoses or violence towards women and other men or other mental health conditions, as we know.
So that said, as there are realities that drive this crisis per your designation, Paul Krauss, are there ways to break the barriers through treatment, innovation, and how you can help?
Yeah, I mean, there are, just starting before we get to treatment, if you are a man who is experiencing these symptoms, finding healthy friends, both all genders, male and female, finding community is a very positive way for men. But we know that there's a male loneliness epidemic where they're not reaching out for friendship for whatever reason. Could be technology, could be other reasons. I'm not exactly sure why. We think it's a multidimensional thing. And of course, if you are in a tough spot, going to counseling is confidential. It's a good way to figure out what's going on in my life. Where do I need to grow? What are the weaknesses? What are my strengths? And how can I feel better? And we know counseling works. The stats are 80% of participants feel better in a very short time after attending counseling.
And you, as a proprietor, Health for Life Counseling, can help.
Yeah, absolutely. Health for Life Counseling, we have now 3 locations, 2 of which are all therapists. We have male and female therapists of all different types of specialties, including EMDRIA therapy. For men, that's often a great therapy because if you don't like talking as much, it's a great therapy where you can kind of go through this process. You can look it up. And a lot of celebrities are doing it now because it has really fast effects on feeling better emotionally. We have now partnered with the Holistic Health Collective of West Michigan in the Northview neighborhood up on the north part of Beltline on the way to Belmont. And we have opened a new center starting this month where we have medical doctors, acupuncturists, licensed professionals up there doing integrative care as well, co-housed with the Health for Life counselors as well.
I guess I'm seeing that's more versus just standalone venues. You're all getting together and all treating the holistic person. And that includes infrared sauna.
Yes, that's actually one of the things when we moved into the building. There's an infrared sauna, there's a yoga room, there's all sorts of a community space, all sorts of really cool things happening on the holistic side. And with the counselors co-housed in there, you can see a doctor, you can get different treatments, and also get counseling done in the same building. So we're really excited about it.
Will we be able to beat this crisis in closing, Paul Krauss?
I think if people take it seriously, and that means if you have a male in your life that is struggling, that you speak openly, honestly, boldly to them about your concerns directly and encourage them to seek help, whatever it may be, whether it's through the community or a doctor or a counselor or a mentor, to seek that connection, to uncover the nuances of what's going on. I think we can, but I do think as a society, we need to do a good job at addressing this and not ignoring it. Women have been doing great in the last 40 years with a lot of very positive campaigns for young women, and I do think we need some sort of positive campaign for young men to show them that they have a place in society.
How do we find out more about you and yours?
You can check me out on the internet. Just Google Health for Life Counseling Grand Rapids. If you want to listen to my podcast, you can type in Paul Krauss Podcast. You'll find it. It's all about mental health and how to help people.
Glad we are talking about it. Glad you are helping, Paul Krauss. Please take care.
Thank you, Shelley.